And I want everybody to know that, first of all, I don't do or engage in anything unless I'm giving 100%.
Now, I really have no respect for Trevor Noah now after that Oprah Winfrey interview, because he threw a softball at Oprah Winfrey when it comes to leaving Neverland. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I'm sure that's the only reason why she came on the show, because it's like, oh, if you back me into a corner, I'm not coming on the show. So don't let her on the show then. Who cares? Don't let her on the show, because what she did was despicable. She only believed one side of the story. She's not a journalist at all. She's a pathetic human being. I don't like what she did to Michael Jackson at all.
Did you ever waver in your beliefs when the documentary director came out and said there was a timeline issue? Michael Jackson didn't have the train station?
You know why I have not wavered? Because I've had girls at my school who were sexually assaulted and abused, and I have never won a case. And the reason I have never won a case is because when you put a girl on the witness stand and she can't remember, was it Thursday or Wednesday, it's automatically discredited. And so when you're in the midst of trauma, terrible things happening to you, you may not remember the exact time. It's why, like if I hear a noise or something in my house, I like, look at the time, because they're going to ask what time was it? Oh my God, what time was it? So if you can't remember the day and the time and the da-da-da-da, everybody's like, well, okay.
I guess it never happened.
Guess it never happened. Oh, I said it was that hotel, but it was that hotel. Oh, it probably never happened. So I've been through that, so no.
Now, she didn't waver just because of the timeline, just because they got the timeline wrong and everything like that. But there's more things that we could point to prove that these guys are shady and they're opportunists, especially Wade Robson. Both of them are obviously opportunists, but there's Wade Robson's friends, there's his family, there's evidence of his family being opportunists, definitely a connection to getting more money out of the Jackson family, definitely a connection with Brandy. They had a relationship, but that's not in the documentary. That's shady. And of course, there's the lawyers, there's the private detectives you could interview. There's a whole bunch of people that you could interview that could corroborate Michael Jackson's kindness. You understand? But yet somehow, no, we're not going to focus on that. We're just going to focus on what the accusers say. Whatever the accusers say, and anybody that does says anything to the contrary, we're not going to investigate that. We're just going to listen to what the accusers say. That is Oprah's mentality. Now, let's flip it on Oprah. Now, this is a hypothetical. I want to make it quite clear that this is a hypothetical. We know that Oprah had problems in her schools in South Africa, right? Now, let's say Oprah goes to South Africa. This little girl goes to Oprah and says, like, I want you to carry me to the bathroom. My stomach hurts. So Oprah carries her to the bathroom. Then the little girl comes out screaming that, Oprah touched me, Oprah touched me. Now there's a case where Oprah is being accused of molestation, touching that little girl. This is hypothetical. Now, we're just going to believe the little girl. Whatever she says goes. We're just going to believe it. Doesn't matter like what her motivation is. We're not going to investigate whether the parents put her up to it. We're just going to believe the little girl. Okay, like, shut up, Oprah. We don't need to investigate further. You're guilty, and everybody's going to smear you. Okay, we're going to have a trial, and we're going to put you on trial and make sure that you're found guilty. Okay, no investigation needed. This is her attitude. You understand? It's her attitude. Because we're just going to believe her version of events, the little girl. Because that's exactly what she did with Leaving Neverland. She just believed Wade Robson and James Safechuck, their version of events. So we're going to believe the same thing. This little girl is telling the truth about you molesting her, hypothetically. How do you think Oprah would feel? Yeah, exactly. She's such a hypocrite. She would want to find out, investigate why this is happening and clear her name. But yet, no, we should believe the victim, Oprah. That's what you believe. So you're guilty. This is all hypothetical.
And I want everybody to know that, first of all, I don't do or engage in anything unless I'm giving 100%. First saw that documentary, I realized that a lot of people are going to get triggered, are going to be triggered by watching it.
Yes.
And that a lot of people will not understand what the pattern is, because I had done 217 shows trying to get people to understand that it's not about one person, that it is about the pattern, it is about the seduction. And people call it molestation, but there is a big seducing that goes on,
right,
and the pattern of that seducing. And that was important enough for me to take the hateration.
So she knew that people would be triggered by this. Now, I'll explain to you how insidious Oprah really is. She's really insidious because she's a smart woman. She's been in this business for a very long time. Journalism. She's been inside Hollywood. She's been inside the business, so she knows things that we don't know, and she's not a stupid woman. Okay, any intelligent person could look at this documentary and see that it's one-sided. Okay, now she knows that most of America is pretty much ignorant, and people will be triggered by this. She knows this. She knows that most of Americans are ignorant. Okay, that's why we've had these problems throughout the centuries. She knows this, and she's going to capitalize on it. So she knows it's one-sided documentary, but she doesn't care because it promotes her brand. In some way, she thinks it promotes her brand. Like she's gonna be put on high. She's trying to help people, and she's talking about seduction. It's like, what seduction? He was being kind to people. He's kind to people. And notice that the media doesn't talk about that. They don't talk about the nice things that Michael Jackson does and did. I should say did. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about that at all. But yet, somehow, it's always the negative, and she's feeding off of that. She's feeding off of Americans' ignorance, and that is something that anybody who realizes what's going on should be disgusted by. She's disgusting. You don't do that. She deliberately did that to destroy Michael Jackson's legacy and also hurt the Jackson family. And the Jackson family are not stupid. They know exactly what Oprah's doing. They know exactly what she's doing, but yet she thinks that she's doing something good. You're crazy. She's delusional. And no, she's not delusional. I'm giving her a pass by saying that. She's not delusional. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's not an idiot. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she did it on purpose. Just to, I don't know what the Jackson family did to her, because Michael Jackson's dead. He's not really, is not really hurting, but his fans and definitely his family, yes, because of her lies, because of her misinformation. She has all this power and reach, and look what she does with it. You're not helping people at all. You're destroying the fabric of society by doing stuff like that. That is not real journalism. That is shoddy journalism, and she really should be ashamed of herself. And she's going around strutting around like everything's okay. No, everything's not okay. You're a horrible person, Oprah. This is another clip from The Daily Show, and just listen to it till the end, and you'll see the hypocrisy in what she says.
Was there ever a moment where you maybe had the wrong idea of what your purpose would be? I know you speak a little bit about it in the book, but was there ever a moment where you failed and you're glad that you failed because it put you on the path that you were meant to be on?
Well, you know, we were just talking about this during the commercial break. It was actually a show that I was doing with skinheads and, you know, white supremacists, where I thought I was showing the world their vitriol, right, letting the world see that. And I recognized they were actually using me. They were using that platform because I, at the time, did not understand how powerful the platform was.
Wow.
So when I figured that out, I literally said, I'm only going to use my work, this platform, as a force for good.
Yes.
I will cause no harm. I will cause no harm.
I will cause no harm. Did you hear that? But she already has. She already has.
And I want everybody to know that, first of all, I don't do or engage in anything unless I'm giving 100%.